When you pass away, your chosen successor trustee steps in. Their job is simple and private. They don't go to court. They follow your instructions in the trust document, pay any remaining bills and taxes, and then distribute the assets to your beneficiaries. The whole process can take weeks, not years. Now I've told you about my journey. Let me share what I've watched others go through. A close friend of mine, a school teacher from Ohio, inherited a small rental property from her parents. When she sold it, she was hit with a $9,200 capital gains tax bill that threatened her modest retirement savings. She came to me worried, thinking her dream of a secure retirement was fading. That's when I explained the new rules. I told her about qualified opportunity funds, or COFs. It's a way to take that capital gain, defer the tax, and invest the full amount into designated communities. The relief on her face was immediate. Instead of losing over $2,000 to taxes, she could put the entire $9,200 to work. She chose a fund focused on building workforce housing, affordable apartments for young families. It aligned perfectly with her values as an educator. A few years later, that investment is growing steadily. She gets small, regular distributions that supplement her teacher's pension. She's now volunteering at that very elementary school, watching the children of families who live in those apartments learn and grow. Her small cabin sale helped build a community. This is the core of the new 1031 replacement strategy. You take your capital gain, let's say $9,200, and instead of sending over $2,000 to the IRS, you invest the entire amount into a qualified opportunity fund. The tax is deferred, and your full sum starts compounding immediately. If you do nothing and just pay the tax, you lose that $2,200 forever. It's gone. You'd only have $7,000 left to reinvest. But by using a QOF, that $2,200 stays in your pocket, working for you, growing alongside the rest of your investment for years to come. The rules are clear. You have 180 days from the sale of your property to reinvest your capital gain into a qualified opportunity fund. You also have 45 days to identify your chosen fund in writing. These are strict deadlines, so it's crucial to start your research and assemble your team early. The long-term benefits are substantial. If you hold the QOF investment for at least 5 years, you get a 10% exclusion on the deferred gain. At 7 years, it's 15%. And if you hold it for 10 years or more, you get a step-up in basis, meaning any future appreciation is completely tax-free. You know, watching my friend find peace of mind reminded me that this isn't just about complicated financial rules. It's about the simple feeling of knowing you've made a smart choice. It's the calm that comes from securing your future, and maybe even helping your community along the way. I've seen folks do this successfully time and again. Another case was a young couple in their 30s. They sold their first starter home, a small place they'd fixed up, and made a nice profit. But they were staring at a $9,200 tax bill, money they wanted for their newborn daughter. They were planning for their future, college funds, maybe a small business for dad. Losing over $2,000 to taxes felt like a huge setback. So they sat down with their financial planner and their CPA, and together they mapped out a plan using an opportunity zone investment. They invested their entire gain into a fund that was developing a new mixed-use space in a revitalizing part of their own city. It had retail on the bottom and apartments above. Their money wasn't just growing. It was literally building something in their community. They felt a real connection to it. Fast forward about 8 years. Their daughter is now in elementary school. Their QOF investment has grown nicely. They recently used a portion of it to help fund a down payment on their first real family home. The rest continues to grow, earmarked for that college fund they dreamed about. That initial $9,200, which they could have lost over $2,000 of to taxes, is now working on multiple fronts. It's helped them buy a home, it's growing for their daughter's education, and it helped revitalize a neighborhood. All from one wise decision made years ago. Let's look at the numbers from that young couple's story. They deferred a $9,200 gain, saving over $2,000 in taxes immediately. Over 8 years, with even modest growth, that initial sum grew substantially. It contributed to a down payment, while the remainder continued compounding. Remember, not all qualified opportunity funds are the same. They can focus on different things. Some invest in real estate development, like the workforce housing my teacher friend chose. Others invest directly in operating businesses within the zones, a new factory, a tech startup, a local grocery store. Of course, like any investment, there are risks. You're investing in a fund, and its performance depends on the manager's skill and the underlying projects. There's also a lack of liquidity. You're committing your money for the long term to get those tax benefits. It's not a savings account. That's why assembling the right team is so critical. You need a good CPA who understands the tax rules. You need a financial planner who can help you choose a fund that fits your overall goals. And you might need an attorney, especially if you're thinking about estate planning aspects. I remember sitting on that porch with my friend, watching her worry melt away. It's a powerful thing, watching someone realize they have more control over their future than they thought. That feeling of empowerment is something money alone can't buy. It's the real reward of financial literacy. Then there was the retired couple in Florida. They'd owned a small vacation cabin in the mountains for decades. When they finally sold it, they faced a $9,200 capital gains tax on their fixed retirement income. That was a significant hit they hadn't planned for. They came to me worried it would eat into their monthly budget. But I explained that for them, the 10-year hold wasn't a problem. In fact, it was an opportunity. They could invest in a QOF, defer the tax, and the step-up in basis after 10 years would make it a powerful, tax-free gift for their children. They loved that idea. Instead of just paying a tax bill, they were creating a legacy for their family. They worked with their advisor and chose a fund that was developing a new senior living community in an opportunity zone. It felt right, investing in something that would help people like them. The process was simple. A few signatures, a phone call with their advisor, and the money was transferred from their sale proceeds into the QOF. The red tape was minimal. They didn't have to deal with any complex exchange rules or find another property to buy. It was straightforward and clean. Years later, that investment has grown. They receive periodic statements showing its progress, but otherwise it's completely hands-off. They're enjoying their retirement worry-free, knowing that when the time comes, their children will receive that asset with a step-up in basis, owing zero capital gains tax. For that retired couple, the numbers told a powerful story. By deferring the $9,200 tax, they kept over $2,000 working for them. Over a decade, that sum grew. It didn't just provide peace of mind. It created a substantial, tax-free legacy for their heirs. This strategy isn't just about what you gain, it's about what your community gains too. Opportunity zones are specifically designated areas that need investment. Your money, pooled with others, can fund affordable housing, new schools, community centers, and local businesses. It's a powerful form of public-private partnership. A common question I hear from folks over 70 is, what if I don't live another 10 years? The beauty of the step-up in basis is that it answers that question perfectly. Even if you pass away during the holding period, your heirs inherit the investment with a stepped-up basis. The tax benefit isn't lost. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or well into retirement, this tool can work for you. For younger folks, it's about maximizing long-term growth. For those closer to or in retirement, it's about preserving wealth and creating a legacy. It's remarkably flexible across all age groups. Standing on that hill in Montana, watching the sunset, I was reminded that financial planning is a lot like farming. You prepare the soil, you plant the seeds, and then you have to be patient. You trust that with the right care, those seeds will grow into something that provides for you and others. Another story that comes to mind is a small business owner in her 40s. She owned the building where her retail shop was located. When she sold the building to focus on her online business, she had a $9,200 gain. She wanted that money to expand her e-commerce operation. I told her she could use that same gain to invest in a QOF focused on small business development. There are funds that specifically invest in operating businesses within opportunity zones. Her capital could help other entrepreneurs get started, while her own investment grew tax-deferred. She was intrigued. The idea of her money helping other small business owners really resonated with her entrepreneurial spirit. She did her due diligence, worked with her advisor, and found a fund that provided capital to startups in a revitalizing neighborhood. It felt like an extension of her own journey. A few years on, her online business is thriving. And that QOF investment, it's performed well too. She's now in a position where she's considering mentoring young entrepreneurs. Her wise financial move with that property sale didn't just fund her business. It connected her to a larger community. She recently told me that the investment has grown enough that it's now a significant part of her retirement plan. What started as a potential tax burden turned into a core part of her long-term security. And along the way, she's helped fund dozens of other small businesses. It's a beautiful cycle. Let's quantify that business owner's journey. Her $9,200 gain, fully invested and tax-deferred, grew alongside her thriving company. Over 15 years, that seed capital, enhanced by the power of compounding, became a substantial nest egg, all while fueling other entrepreneurs' dreams. Now, you might be wondering how this compares to a traditional 1031 exchange. A 1031 lets you defer taxes by reinvesting in another property. A QOF lets you defer taxes by investing in a fund, which can then invest in real estate or businesses. It offers more flexibility and diversification. Choosing the right QOF requires homework. You need to look at the fund manager's track record. What's their experience in opportunity zones? What's their investment strategy, real estate, operating businesses, or a mix? And you must understand their fee structure. Due diligence is non-negotiable. Your action plan has 4 clear steps. First, calculate your potential capital gain. Second, assemble your advisory team, CPA, financial planner, maybe an attorney. Third, with their help, research and select a QOF that aligns with your goals. Fourth, make your investment within the 180-day window. Walking those historic streets in Charleston, I thought about the generations who'd built that city. Their vision and investment created something lasting. That's the long view we need to take with our own finances. We're not just building for ourselves, we're building for those who come after. I also recall a story about a firefighter from California. He and his brother inherited a small piece of land in the mountains. When they sold it, his share of the capital gain was $9,200. He had a daughter in her 20s, and he desperately wanted to help her with a down payment on her first home. He was worried that paying over $2,000 in taxes would set that dream back by years, but we talked it through. He realized he could invest his gain in a QOF focused on residential development. His money would be building new homes, which felt perfect given his goal. He made the investment. It was surprisingly easy. A few clicks online, a transfer from his credit union, and it was done. He told me later that clicking confirm felt like he was planting a seed for his daughter's future. The worry was gone, replaced by a sense of purpose. Fast forward a few years. The fund performed well. When his daughter was ready to buy, he was able to take some money out. The investment had grown enough to provide a substantial down payment. She's now a proud homeowner, and his remaining investment continues to grow for his own retirement. That father's story always gets me. He took a piece of inherited land and turned it into the foundation of his daughter's future. That $9,200, by being wisely deferred and invested, didn't just pay a tax bill. It bought a home, it built family security, it created a legacy. Looking at the firefighter's numbers, it's clear. He deferred a $9,200 gain, saving over $2,000 in taxes. That full amount grew for several years. When his daughter needed it, the growth alone was enough to fund her entire down payment. The original sum kept compounding for him. One critical note: state taxes. While your capital gains tax is deferred at the federal level, your state might have different rules. Some states conform to the federal rules, but others don't. You absolutely must check with your CPA to understand how your specific state treats QOF investments. Liquidity is another important consideration. While you're committed for the long term to get the full tax benefits, there are secondary markets where you might be able to sell your QOF interest if you absolutely need the money early. However, you may have to sell at a discount, so it's best to plan to hold. To summarize, Opportunity Zone investing offers three powerful benefits: tax deferral on your current gain, long-term tax-free growth on that investment, and a direct, positive impact on communities that need it most. It's a strategy that aligns your financial goals with a broader purpose. Standing there in the shadow of the Tetons, it's easy to feel small. But it also reminds you that small actions, repeated over time, can have a monumental impact. A wise financial choice today is like a seed planted in rich soil. You may not see the full tree, but your family will. Let me tell you about a school teacher from Ohio, a different one from my friend. This was a woman in her 60s, recently retired, who'd inherited a small rental property from her parents. It was a modest house, but selling it triggered a $9,200 capital gain. She was on a fixed income, and that tax bill was a real worry. I suggested she look into a QOF that focused on education or community centers. We found one that was funding a new after-school program in an opportunity zone. It was a perfect fit for a lifelong educator. Her money would teach even after she stopped. She invested, and the process was simple. A few phone calls with her advisor, some paperwork, and it was done. She told me later that knowing her money was helping kids learn made the whole thing feel less like a financial transaction and more like a final act of teaching. Years have passed. The investment has grown, providing a nice supplement to her pension. She's now a regular volunteer at that very after-school program. She reads with the kids, helps with homework. The children know her as Miss Marie. Her legacy isn't just financial, it's personal. That teacher's story is one of my favorites. She turned a potential tax burden into a source of ongoing income and personal fulfillment. Her $9,200 didn't just grow in an account. It grew into a connection with her community and a lasting impact on young lives. The math on that teacher's story is heartwarming. Her $9,200 investment, tax-deferred, grew steadily. The returns provided her with extra retirement income, but the real return can't be measured in dollars. It's the joy she gets from volunteering, a direct result of her wise choice. Remember, the type of QOF you choose matters. There are funds focused on real estate, like the apartment complexes or senior living communities. There are funds focused on operating businesses. And there are diversified funds that do a bit of both. Your choice should align with your personal values and financial goals. And you don't need a massive gain to make this work. The $9,200 example is just that, an example. Whether your gain is $5,000 or $50,000 or $500,000, the same rules apply. The benefits are proportional. This strategy is accessible to a wide range of investors. So we've seen how this works for a young couple, for retirees, for a business owner, for a firefighter, for a teacher. Different stories, different goals, but all united by one powerful strategy. They all chose to defer, to grow, and to make an impact. They all chose to build something that would last. Sitting in that old Boston cemetery, surrounded by history, you realize that legacies are built by the choices we make. The people buried there made choices that shaped a nation. Our choices might be smaller in scale, but they shape our own families and communities. Every wise choice is a stone in that foundation. I think about the people I've met who stumbled onto this strategy a little too late. One fellow, a contractor, sold a piece of equipment and land, had a nice gain, but didn't know about the 180-day rule. He missed the window. He ended up paying over $4,000 in taxes he could have deferred. He told me, "Rick, I just didn't know." That's why I'm here, sharing these stories. Knowledge is power. He now knows the rules and he's ready for his next sale. He even jokes that he's become the opportunity zone guy among his contractor friends, making sure they don't make the same mistake. The 180-day clock starts ticking the moment you sell your asset. That's day one. You have 45 days to identify your qualified opportunity fund in writing. And you have the full 180 days to actually make the investment. Mark your calendar, set reminders, and work closely with your advisor to meet these deadlines. If you miss the 180-day deadline, the opportunity is gone. The tax becomes due, and you lose the chance for that long-term growth on the full amount. That's why planning ahead is so crucial. You can't wait until day 179 to start looking for a fund. Your research should begin well before you even sell. The good news is, once you're aware of the rules, they're not that complicated. It's a clear path: sell, identify, invest. And with a good team guiding you, it's a smooth journey. The contractor I mentioned now has his plan ready for any future asset sales. He's turned his mistake into a lesson. Let's consider the cost of missing that window. On a $9,200 gain, the tax bill is over $2,000. That's money that could have been invested and growing for years. Over a decade, even at a moderate rate of return, that $2,000 could have become much more. Your team is your greatest asset in this process. Your CPA calculates your gain and ensures compliance. Your financial planner helps you select a fund aligned with your goals. Your attorney can advise on estate planning aspects. And the fund manager provides the investment opportunity. Together, they guide you. The paperwork is manageable. You'll file Form 8997 with your taxes each year to report your QOF investment. Your fund will provide you with the necessary statements. It's not nearly as cumbersome as some other tax strategies. Your CPA will handle the details. You just need to keep your records organized. So to recap the timeline, day 1 you sell your asset. By day 45 you've identified your QOF. By day 180 you've made your investment. Then you hold for the long term, tracking your milestones at year 5, 7, and 10 and reporting annually. It's a structured, predictable path. Looking out over the National Mall, you see the monuments to ideas and people who shaped this country. Opportunity zones are a different kind of monument, built not of stone, but of investment and hope. They're a testament to the idea that when we work together, we can build stronger communities for everyone. Another person who comes to mind is a single mother from Arizona. She sold a small piece of land her own mother had left her. She had a $9,200 gain. She wanted to use that money to go back to school herself, to get a degree in nursing and build a better career. Paying over $2,000 in taxes would have delayed her dream by at least a year. But we found a QOF that focused on education and healthcare infrastructure. It was funding the construction of a new community health clinic in an opportunity zone. Her money would literally help build a place for people like her. She invested, and it felt right. She started her nursing program, studying hard while her investment grew quietly in the background. She told me later that knowing her money was helping build a clinic gave her extra motivation in her studies. She felt connected to a larger purpose. Years later, she's a registered nurse. She works at that very clinic her investment helped build. Every day she walks into a building that her wise financial choice, made years ago, helped make possible. That $9,200 didn't just fund her education. It helped build her workplace. That story always gives me chills. She turned a potential tax payment into a degree, a career, and a daily reminder of her own strength and wisdom. Her investment grew, but more importantly, she grew. She built a life, and she did it by making a choice that was both smart and meaningful. The single mother's story shows the power of aligned values. She deferred $9,200, saving over $2,000 in taxes. That full sum grew, helping her through school. And the fund she chose built the very clinic where she now works. It's a perfect circle of investment and personal achievement. These stories all share a common thread. The investors didn't just see a number on a page. They saw a chance to build something real. For some, it was a college fund. For others, it was a home, a retirement, or a community center. The money was the tool, but the goal was always personal. A question I'm often asked is about legislative risk. What if Congress changes the rules? It's a valid concern. However, investments made under current tax law are typically grandfathered. The rules in place at the time you invest are the rules that apply to your investment. Your CPA can provide more specifics. Ultimately, the decision is yours. You've seen the stories. You know the rules. You understand the potential benefits for your finances, your family, and your community. The opportunity is there. The path is clear. The only question left is, will you take the first step? Standing on the High Line in New York, looking out over a city built by generations of dreamers and builders, you feel that same energy. It's the energy of possibility. That same possibility exists for you. A wise financial choice today can be the foundation for your own legacy, right where you are. I think about a blue-collar worker from Michigan. He was a machinist, a good man who worked with his hands. He'd inherited a small piece of land from his father. When he sold it, he had a $9,200 gain. He had a son who was a talented mechanic, and he dreamed of starting a business with him. They had big plans, a small garage, a couple of lifts, maybe a tow truck. But that tax bill was looming. I told him about QOFs focused on small business and job creation. There are funds that specifically invest in businesses like the one he wanted to start. His money could help build the very ecosystem he wanted to join. He loved that idea. He and his son did their research. They found a fund that provided capital to automotive startups and small manufacturers in an opportunity zone. It felt like a sign. They invested their gain, and then they got to work on their own business plan. A few years later, their garage is thriving. They have 3 employees now. They're known in town for honest, quality work. And that QOF investment they made, it's grown too, providing a nice little nest egg for the father's retirement, separate from the business income. That father and son story is a classic American tale. They took a piece of inherited land and turned it into a family business. The QOF investment helped them get started and also grew into a retirement fund. It's a perfect example of how one wise choice can build multiple streams of family wealth. Let's look at that machinist's numbers. His $9,200 gain, tax-deferred, gave them the confidence to launch their business. The growth on that investment over the years became his retirement security. One decision seeded a business for his son and a retirement for himself. That's powerful. Finding the right QOF starts with your advisor. They have access to vetted funds and can help you narrow down the options based on your goals. You can also research online directories and the official Opportunity Zones website. Attend webinars, read fund prospectuses, and ask lots of questions. Do your homework. Remember the substantial improvement rule for real estate COFs. If a fund buys an existing building, they must double its basis within 30 months. That means significant renovations or new construction. This rule ensures that the investment actually revitalizes the property, creating jobs and improving the community. We've covered a lot of ground, from young couples to retirees, from business owners to firefighters, from teachers to machinists. Their stories are all different, but the strategy is the same. Defer the tax, invest in an opportunity zone, grow your wealth, build a legacy, strengthen a community. Driving along the Blue Ridge Parkway, watching the mist settle over the mountains, you realize that time is the one thing we can't buy. But we can use it wisely. We can make choices today that will bear fruit for years, for decades, for generations. That's the real power of long-term thinking. Imagine all those people, the young couple, the retirees, the business owner, the firefighter, the teacher, the machinist, all gathered together in a community center. They're sharing their stories, laughing, swapping advice. They're a living testament to what's possible when you make a wise choice with your capital gains. In that community center, the young couple's daughter is showing off her college diploma to the retired couple's grandchild. The business owner is explaining her growth chart to the machinist's son. The teacher's successor is reading a book with a young student. They're all connected by one simple, powerful strategy. Now they're looking towards the future together. They're pointing at a map, identifying new opportunity zones, new places where their collective wisdom and experience can help others. They're not done yet. They're ready to mentor the next generation of investors, to pass on what they've learned. A new group of investors has joined them, young professionals, a middle-aged couple, a single woman with a tablet, an older man with a walking stick. They're listening intently as the original group shares their stories, hands them small, glowing seeds, and shows them the path forward. They all go outside to the green space around the community center. They plant those seeds, forming a circle of new saplings around the mature golden tree. The cycle is complete. The wisdom has been passed. New legacies are beginning. The forest of opportunity continues to grow. The bottom line is simple. By choosing to invest your capital gain in a qualified opportunity fund, you defer the tax immediately. That deferred money, plus the rest of your gain, begins compounding right away. Over 5, 7, 10 years or more, that growth can be substantial. It's simple math with powerful results. So what are your next steps? First, review your situation. Do you have a recent or upcoming capital gain? Second, assemble your team, CPA, planner, attorney. Third, with their help, research and select a QOF. Fourth, make your move within the 180-day window. The knowledge is yours. Now it's time to act. Where do you find qualified professionals? Start with the AI CPAs, find a CPA tool. Use the CFP Board's website to find a certified financial planner. The American Bar Association can help you find an attorney with tax expertise. And the official Opportunity Zones website has maps and basic information. Your move: defer, grow, impact. Defer your capital gains tax. Invest in an opportunity zone. Watch your wealth grow tax deferred. Build a lasting legacy for your family, and know that you've helped strengthen an American community. It's one strategy with 3 powerful outcomes. Watching the sunrise over the Golden Gate Bridge, you're reminded that every day is a new beginning, a chance to make a different choice, a chance to start building something that will last. The knowledge is in your hands now. The opportunity is waiting. What will you do with it? Think of your capital gain as a single drop of water in a still pond. When you drop it in, it creates ripples. Those ripples spread out, touching everything in their path. A wise investment in an opportunity zone is like that. Its impact doesn't stop with you. It spreads through your community. As the ripples spread, they touch the small symbols floating on the pond: a tiny house, a miniature school, a small business, a family. Each one begins to glow faintly as the ripple reaches it. Your single investment has started to nourish every part of the community. The ripples reach the shore and keep going, flowing into the town itself. The schoolhouse glows brighter. The shops on Main Street light up. The homes in the neighborhood are bathed in a warm, golden light. The investment's impact is no longer a metaphor. It's a tangible transformation. Years later, the town is thriving. The school has a new wing. Businesses are busy. A beautiful community center with the tree and circle logo stands in the town square. The initial investment has catalyzed sustained, visible growth. The ripples have become a rising tide that lifted the entire community. Now a new person kneels at the pond's edge, a golden coin in their hand. An older, wiser figure stands behind them, a hand on their shoulder. The cycle is about to begin again. Another investment, another set of ripples. Another story waiting to be written. The opportunity is eternal. Zoom out and you see the entire country. Hundreds of ponds, each in a different community. From each one, golden ripples spread. They touch, they overlap, they amplify each other. The whole nation is connected by a network of light, a testament to the collective power of wise, local investments. Look closer at one of those communities. Main Street is bustling. There's a new bookstore, a coffee shop, a thriving hardware store. Young families are walking by. An affordable apartment building is at the end of the street with a small tree and circle logo on a discreet sign. This is what revitalization looks like. Now a new generation has arrived. Young entrepreneurs are working in a new startup hub. A family with a toddler is pointing at a for sale sign. The town isn't just surviving, it's growing. It's attracting new people, new ideas, new energy. The investment planted the seed, but the community made it bloom. Under the mature golden tree in the town square, a community gathering is taking place. The original investors are there, along with the young entrepreneurs and the new families. Children are playing with toys that symbolize the stories: a tiny graduation cap, a small key, a toy truck. The legacy is shared by all. Now the golden tree towers over everything, its branches providing a protective canopy. A child kneels at its base, carefully planting a new sapling, their small hands guided by an older, wiser pair. The cycle is eternal. One generation plants the trees under whose shade another generation rests. Imagine a single golden acorn, engraved with $9,200, being planted in rich, fertile soil. A gentle rain begins to fall, each golden raindrop containing a tiny, fading red tax tag. This is the beginning. The seed of your investment, nourished by the tax you've deferred, is ready to grow. The acorn sprouts. A small, delicate sapling emerges, its first few leaves a brilliant gold. The rain continues to fall, the red tags now completely gone. The sapling is healthy, its tiny roots beginning to spread. Your investment is taking hold, starting its long journey toward maturity. The sapling grows into a young tree. Its trunk is strong, its branches spreading, its golden leaves shimmering. The rain has stopped. The first golden coins have fallen at its base. Your investment is no longer a fragile hope. It's a thriving asset, beginning to produce its own fruit. The tree reaches full maturity, massive and magnificent. Its branches are heavy with golden coins. People from the community gather beneath it, enjoying its shade and collecting the coins that fall. The investment is now providing abundant returns, not just for you, but for everyone around it. Pull back and you see that this tree is just one in a vast, golden forest. Hillsides are covered with trees of all ages, young saplings, mature trees, ancient giants. A single acorn, planted long ago, sparked a forest of opportunity that now stretches across the entire nation. The simple math is this: capital gain plus QOF investment equals tax deferral plus long-term growth plus community impact. It's a straightforward equation with profound results. $9,200, wisely invested, can become a legacy that benefits your family for generations. What if you already sold and missed the 180-day window? Don't panic. Learn from it. Talk to your advisor. There might be other strategies available for that sale. And most importantly, be ready for the next one. You now have the knowledge. You won't miss it again. Remember the difference between deferral and exclusion. For the first 5 years, the tax is simply deferred. At year 5, 10% of the gain is permanently excluded. At year 7, it's 15%. And after 10 years, you get a full step-up in basis. The longer you hold, the greater the reward. You have the knowledge now, you've seen the stories, you understand the mechanics, the choice is yours. You can pay the tax and move on, or you can make a different choice. You can defer, invest, grow, and build something that will last. The opportunity is waiting. What will you decide? Standing in the gardens of the Biltmore, looking at that grand house built by a visionary, you see what one person's dream can become. It's a reminder that vision, combined with wise choices and patient stewardship, can create something that endures for over a century. Your legacy can too. In a quiet, rolling valley, a single, ancient golden tree stands alone. Its trunk is wide and gnarled, its branches spread protectively over the land. At its base, a simple stone plaque reads, "Planted by those who came before." This is the legacy waiting to be seen. As you approach and place your hand on its ancient trunk, a ghost-like vision appears. You see a figure from the past, the firefighter, young again, kneeling and gently planting a small acorn. You're connected to that moment, to the person whose wise choice, generations ago, created this living monument. The vision expands. You see generations of the same family benefiting from the tree, children playing in its shade, parents gathering its golden coins, grandparents resting peacefully beneath it, great-grandchildren planting new saplings nearby. The tree has provided for this family for over a century. The visions fade. You step back from the tree, and a single, perfect golden coin falls into your open palm. You look at it, then towards the distant field where young saplings are beginning to grow. The choice is now yours. Will you plant your own acorn? Will you start your own legacy? You look out and see that the ancient tree is part of a vast, golden forest. You're standing at the edge, at the start of a clear path that leads into it. You turn and look back at the viewer, a wise and inviting smile on your face. You step onto the path, inviting them to follow. The journey is theirs to begin. All the symbols from the stories, the acorn, the sapling, the mature tree, the graduation cap, the key, the wrench, the family, the community, float together, connected by golden threads. They form a unified, hopeful tapestry, a visual summary of everything we've explored. The Tree and Circle logo transforms into a living tree. Its branches have grown into 3 distinct shapes: a locker, a money tree, and a family. This is the visual representation of the 3 core pillars: defer, grow, and impact. The tree of opportunity, its purpose made clear. From the tree's branches, golden rays of light extend outward, touching all the floating symbols. As each symbol is touched, the graduation cap, the key, the wrench, it glows brighter. The three pillars are fueling every positive outcome, bringing all the stories to life. The light connects all the symbols into a single, unified network. They begin to gently orbit the tree, forming a beautiful, spinning mandala of opportunity. It's a visual representation of the continuous, self-reinforcing cycle of investment, growth, and impact, turning forever. Standing at the Charlestown Navy Yard, looking at the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, you're reminded of what endurance looks like. That ship has survived wars, weather, and time itself. A well-built legacy, like a well-built ship, is designed to endure. Your financial legacy can be just as strong. Now imagine all the people from our stories. The young couple, the retirees, the business owner, the firefighter, the teacher, the machinist, all standing together in front of a vast, golden landscape filled with trees of every size. They're a community of wise investors, their success stories united. They're not just standing there, they're interacting with the landscape. Some are gathering golden coins, others are planting new saplings. Some are simply sitting under the larger trees, enjoying the shade and the fruits of their labor. They're active stewards of their own legacies. From above, you see that the entire landscape is an interconnected ecosystem. Rivers of golden light flow between all the groves of trees, connecting every family, every business, every community. It's a vast, living network, powered by the flow of capital and opportunity. Look closely at one of those golden rivers. Floating within the current are tiny, glowing symbols, acorns, graduation caps, keys, wrenches. They're being carried downstream, flowing from one community to another, nourishing new places, planting the seeds for new stories. Pull back further, and you see that the entire vast, interconnected landscape is actually part of a single cosmic tree. Its roots span the continent, its trunk rises to the heavens, and its branches touch the sky. You stand at its base, a humble witness to the immense, eternal legacy. One acorn, planted today, can grow into a tree that supports a family for 100 years. $9,200, wisely invested, can fund a college education for one generation, a home for the next, and a retirement for the one after that. The power of compounding over generations is immense. Your three-step action plan starts today. Step 1. Gather your documents, closing statements, tax returns. Know your gain and sale date. Step 2. Schedule a meeting with your CPA, planner, and attorney. Get everyone on the same page. Step 3. Begin your QOF research with your team. Start now. Fear of the unknown is natural. What if I pick the wrong fund? What if the rules change? What if I need the money early? These are valid concerns, but with a qualified team and thorough due diligence, these risks are manageable. The real risk is often doing nothing and losing over $2,000 to taxes forever. You have the knowledge, you have the stories, you have the action plan, the choice is yours. Will you be like the people in these stories? Will you take that first step? Will you defer, grow, and impact? Your future self and your community will thank you. In the French Quarter of New Orleans, surrounded by history and culture, you feel the pulse of a city that endures. It's a reminder that the choices we make, big and small, contribute to something larger than ourselves. Your wise financial choice is a brick in the foundation of your own enduring story. From a bird's-eye view, the entire continent is now a vast, golden forest. Trees of every size cover the land, connected by rivers of light. It's a breathtaking sight, the cumulative result of countless wise investments, a national legacy of opportunity. At the center of the continent stands the largest, most ancient tree. Its massive trunk is covered with carvings, a graduation cap, a key, a wrench, a laptop, a book, family silhouettes. These are the stories of all those who came before, now eternally part of the national legacy. From the carvings, ghost-like figures emerge. The firefighter, the business owner, the teacher, the young couple, the retired couple, the machinist and his son. They surround you, smiling peacefully, each holding the symbol of their story. They nod in gratitude, acknowledging you, before fading back into the tree. The figures fade, leaving only you and the ancient tree. You reach into your pocket and pull out a single, glowing, golden acorn. You kneel at the base of the tree, dig a small hole with your hands, and gently plant it. The cycle continues. The legacy endures. You stand and turn, looking towards a clear path that leads from the ancient tree into a vast, sunlit landscape filled with young saplings. You smile wisely at the viewer, nod once, and begin walking down the path, inviting them to follow. Their journey, their legacy, is just beginning. The numbers that matter are simple. $9,200 deferred becomes over $2,000 saved from taxes and put to work immediately. Over time, that full amount compounds, growing into something much larger. It's the seed from which your entire legacy can grow. Finding a qualified opportunity fund starts with your team. Use professional directories like the AICPA's, find a CPA, or the CFP Board's website. Consult the official Opportunity Zone's website for maps and basic information. Your advisor is your best resource for accessing vetted fund lists. For real estate QOFS, remember the 30-month substantial improvement rule. The fund must double the basis of an existing property within 30 months. This ensures active development, renovations, new construction, real revitalization, not just passive ownership. It's a rule that guarantees impact. One decision, three powerful outcomes: defer your capital gains tax, invest in an opportunity zone, watch your wealth grow, build a lasting legacy, strengthen American communities. It's one strategy, but its effects ripple out in countless directions, touching your life and the lives of others. Standing on a quiet pier in Brooklyn, looking at the bridge that connects millions of people every day, you're reminded of the power of connection. Opportunity zones are about connection too, connecting investors with communities, connecting capital with purpose, connecting your future with the future of others. On a peaceful hillside, an ancient golden tree stands alone. At its base, a simple stone bench invites reflection. You sit there, gazing at the tree, contemplating the legacy of those who came before. It's a quiet moment to consider the weight and beauty of a life's work. As you walk around the ancient tree, you see that its trunk is covered with carvings, all the symbols from the stories. A graduation cap, a key, a wrench, a laptop, a book, family silhouettes. Each one is filled with a soft, golden light. The stories are alive, etched into the legacy. You step back and look up at the massive canopy. The leaves aren't just golden coins, each one contains a tiny image. A family gathered, a business thriving, a school in session, a community celebrating. The ultimate fruits of all the wise investments, growing on the tree. A gentle wind stirs, and several of the image leaves detach and float down. As they land around you, they transform into tiny, solid versions of the images: a glowing family, a miniature school, a tiny business. The legacy is no longer just a story, it's tangible all around you. The tiny figures multiply and spread across the landscape, forming thriving communities. The ancient tree's branches stretch protectively over them all. The cycle is eternal. One acorn, planted long ago, has become a forest, and that forest is now home to generations. One decision, generations of impact. A single golden acorn dropped into still water creates ripples that spread out forever. Within each ripple, a scene appears: a family, a business, a school, a community. Your $9,200 can create ripples that last for centuries. Think like a gardener, not a gambler. Don't watch the daily fluctuations. Trust the process. Plant your acorn with care, give it time, and let it grow. The magic happens over 5, 7, 10 years and beyond. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a strategy. The reward beyond the return is purpose. Knowing that your money isn't just growing but doing good, building homes, creating jobs, educating children, is a feeling that no spreadsheet can capture. It's the satisfaction of knowing you've made a difference. That's the real, lasting reward. One decision, a lifetime of rewards: defer your capital gains tax, invest in an opportunity zone, watch your wealth grow, build a lasting legacy, strengthen American communities. It's one strategy with three powerful outcomes. The invitation is open. The choice is yours. Standing at Navy Pier in Chicago, looking at the skyline and the lake, you feel the energy of a city that's always looking forward. That's the spirit we need in our financial lives. Look forward, plan ahead, and make choices today that will shape a brighter tomorrow. At the geographic center of the continent, a single massive golden tree towers over everything. At its base, a stone plaque reads, planted by those who came before, tended by those who follow. A gift for all. This is the ultimate legacy, a gift for every American. Zooming in on the ancient tree's trunk, you see it's covered with intricate carvings, the faces of all the people from our stories. The firefighter, the business owner, the teacher, the young couple, the retired couple, the machinist and his son. Each face glows with a soft, golden light. They are forever part of this legacy. From the carvings, ghost-like figures emerge and surround you. They are all there: the firefighter, the business owner, the teacher, the young couple, the retired couple, the machinist and his son. They smile peacefully at you, each holding their symbol, nodding in gratitude. Then they gently fade back into the tree. The figures are gone. You reach into your pocket and pull out a single, glowing golden acorn. You kneel at the base of the ancient tree, dig a small hole with your hands, and gently plant it. You place your hand on the fresh earth, a silent blessing. The cycle continues. The legacy will never end. You stand and look out over the landscape. A tiny, glowing sapling is now visible at the base of the ancient tree. The sun rises, bathing everything in golden light. You turn and walk towards the horizon, your work complete. The legacy is secure. The future is in good hands. The summary is simple. Defer your capital gains tax, invest in a qualified opportunity fund, hold for long-term growth, build a lasting legacy for your family, and strengthen American communities. That's the 1031 replacement strategy in a nutshell. It's one decision with a lifetime of rewards. You are not alone. Millions of Americans have successfully used this strategy. Thousands of projects have been funded. Countless lives have been improved. You've got the knowledge, you've seen the stories, and a community of wise investors and qualified advisors is ready to help you take the next step. Still have questions? Your professional team is your first and best resource. The official Opportunity Zones website has maps and facts, and this channel will continue to provide wisdom on personal finance, investing, and building your legacy. Your journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. One decision, a lifetime of rewards, defer your capital gains tax, invest in an opportunity zone, watch your wealth grow, build a lasting legacy, strengthen American communities. The stories you've seen are real, the strategy is proven. The opportunity is waiting for you. Standing in the plaza of the Alamo, surrounded by history, you're reminded that legacies are built by ordinary people who make extraordinary choices. Your choice today, to learn, to plan, to act wisely, is a stone in the foundation of your own legacy. Make it count. A new day dawns over the peaceful hillside. The sapling you planted is now a small but healthy tree. You stand beside it, one hand resting gently on its highest branch, gazing towards the horizon. The main story is complete. What follows is the final, wise message. You have the knowledge, you've seen the stories, you understand the rules. Now the choice is yours. You can pay the tax and move on, or you can make a different choice. You can defer, invest, grow, and build something that will last. The path is clear. The decision is in your hands. Remember the practical steps. Consult your team, do your due diligence, act within the 180-day window. These aren't just suggestions, they're the keys to success. Follow them and you'll be on the right path. Ignore them and you risk missing the opportunity. And remember, it's not just about the numbers. It's about what those numbers can do for your family, your community, and generations to come. A college education, a first home, a secure retirement, a thriving community. These are the real returns on a wise investment. The floating images fade, leaving only you and the young tree. You place both hands on its slender trunk and look directly at the viewer. You nod once, slowly, a final gesture of encouragement and farewell. The main storytelling ends here. What follows is the final sign-off. Look out over the peaceful landscape. The young tree is now part of a small, healthy grove. Golden light filters through the leaves. Coins lie scattered at the base of each tree. This is the enduring legacy, growing quietly, providing for generations. It's a peaceful, hopeful sight. As you pan across the grove, each tree reminds you of a key takeaway. Defer, grow, impact, team, deadlines, legacy. These are the pillars of the strategy, the lessons from the stories, the keys to your own success. Keep them close. Pull back and you see that the grove itself forms the shape of the tree and circle logo. All the key takeaways float gently above it, a peaceful tableau of interconnected wisdom. The lessons are not separate. They are all part of one whole, one enduring strategy. Zoom out further, and you see that this grove is just one of many in a vast, golden landscape. All are connected by gentle rivers of light. The legacy is everywhere, multiplying, enduring. It's a beautiful sight, a testament to the power of wise choices made by people everywhere. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, please subscribe for more wisdom. Until next time, this is Gramps Rick. Make wise choices.